Good evening, everybody. Welcome to What's Up Wednesday, episode 183. 183 What's Up Wednesdays. That's what we do here. My name's Scott. If we're meeting for the first time, friend, welcome to my channel, Go Small, Live Large. If you are a longtime viewer friend, thank you very much for tuning in tonight. This is going to be kind of an interesting show. What I thought I was going to be doing is staying in a Coachman RV. A Coachman. Oh, good Lord. That's coming up after the Road Trek Chase RV that I was supposed to stay in, courtesy of Sunshine State RVs. But as I looked at the forecast of this hurricane that's barreling down on Florida, the Panhandle, I'm like, it's just on there's the big band, and then there's the next band, and then there's the next band. Gainesville was kind of like in that middle thing. They're expecting 4 to 8 inches of rain tomorrow, with 70 to like 100 miles. I'm like, I'm out of here. I want to do a hurricane from YouTube cams or something, but I don't want to be in one. So it's just an honor to have you here tonight. What I want to do is talk about what I saw on the way down from the Georgia-Florida border. I was literally about 15 minutes from Valdosta, Georgia, a little town called Jennings, Florida. And that's where I was kind of staging myself to get ready for being at Sunshine to pick up the van today and do my overnight thing and all that stuff, and then leave in the morning and come back to home base, arriving on Friday. I just arrived at home base here near West Palm Beach literally 40 minutes ago. So if I look a little ragged today, it's because I've driven 6 hours. I've been up since 2:30 this morning with about 45 minutes of sleep in between then and now. And so I'm a little discombobulated today. But here's what we want to get into tonight. So this is the agenda. I want to talk to you about what I saw on the road coming out of the state line into the it was actually amazing. We'll talk about that. I want to talk a little bit about the rescheduling of the Road Trek Chase, and then I want to talk about your experiences in traveling in extreme weather, because your stories are probably better than mine, and I got some pretty good ones though. So and I got some tips on what I've learned over the years. And then we really want to spend a few minutes talking about the live stream that we're doing with Wingamm this coming Saturday. This is really a big deal, ladies and gentlemen. This is probably one of the biggest events this channel has done. I'm getting zero compensation for it, but what we're doing on Saturday, the 28th of September, 11 a.m. Eastern time, is we're doing a YouTube live stream with Lorena Turi. She's the CEO of Wingamm Group, and Tony Diamond of Wingamm USA will be on as well. And what we are doing is we practiced this whole thing yesterday for 3 hours. It was pretty incredible, and I got to tell you, don't miss 11 a.m. Eastern this Saturday, September 28th, because we're going to blow your minds. I'll talk about that in a little bit. We always like to say hi to folks and kind of get things off. Let me know where you're coming in from. Place, state, weather. If Tin Can Carl is watching, we need to say a special prayer for him, because he's right in the path again. I think they had a hurricane. Was it last July? August, something like that. He was actually a guest on What's Up Wednesday, and he was out of the state. I think he was in Oregon or Washington. I can't remember. And I see Peggy in here. Peggy, it's kind of coming down your alley too. So let's pray that nothing happens there. So let's say hi to some folks. What announcements do I have? Let's just say hi to some folks, and I'll get into some. I have video of what I saw today on the road. It's going to maybe blow your mind. And the only comparison I have is when we used to live in Chicago. But let's say hi. So here's Peggy. Good to see you, ma'am. And here's Eric in the house. Good to see you, sir. Binghamton. All I want to say is Birmingham for some reason. I don't know. New York, 60 degrees. Good to see you. So you guys are, and Ashley's up in Buffalo Junction, Virginia, kind of slowly making your way down, right? It's been hot everywhere. I just came out of, I drove all the state of Georgia on Monday, and I came out of Tennessee, Chattanooga on Sunday, and then Lexington, and so it's just been hot everywhere. It's just incredible. But it's still kind of summer, right? So I think Mother Nature just moved the calendar 1 month this way. That's what I think has happened. So here's Theodore Roosevelt National Park. Now that's something I do need to go see, North Dakota. Hi, Sherry. Good to see you. Here's Bill and Joe. Hello, everyone. Here on What's Up Wednesday, coming home base, Florida. Where does all this rain every day, a couple times a day? Yeah, I drove through some Florida rain downpours. If you haven't experienced one of those, it's pretty awesome. Here's Endless Adventures. Good to see you. Raise your hand. Let me know if you saw the little trailer I put out earlier today. I might start doing that each week to kind of introduce the topic to the audience at large. So here's Sherry. Let's see. And there's Endless Adventures. If you're on the coast and need to go to Ireland, a place can fit some vans. So he made a really nice comment on the was it the channel shift content video. So that's done really well, by the way. That one has seen 10,000 views. Let me show you this. It's pretty amazing. Yeah, so it's is it better this way? Yeah. So this is the one I'm talking about. Probably seen that, right? Kind of thank you for that. Appreciate that. So that's been seen 10,800 times, which is pretty good for a non-floor plan tour. So I'm pretty excited about that. And I've got some really amazing comments from that video. So it just warms my heart. And people are being super supportive. A few were offended being called customers. Okay. Here's Marcia from Helene's Zone. Oh, yeah. Holy cow. It's coming. Yeah. Maybe out soon. Oh, no. Make sure you know what to do. You've been through these before. I'm scared to death already. I'm way out of the way now, though. So that's good. Jane and Roger, good to see you. That's one great thing about the Chicagoland area, Byron, Illinois. No hurricanes. We got tornadoes and tornado sirens. Those things will boil your blood. Peggy wants to know, do you worry on the road about your home base? This is our first experience of being away in a hurricane coming. No, we aren't running home. I definitely wouldn't run into it. Fortunately, I got Kyle, my partner, here at home base, taking care of the properties and his parents. And he's got a brother here, a sister here, a sister here. So they kind of pull together when there's needing to get board ups. I've actually never been involved in one because I was always away traveling. But if that thing was coming barreling into the West Palm Beach area, I would be getting him in my van, and I'd be taking whoever wants to come with me, and we'd be heading. You don't have to be hundreds of miles away, but get out of the main eye. I think his brother said it best, Kyle's brother, that if the eye of the hurricane is coming right over you, all the stuff out this way is just rain and wind damage for sure. But if that eye is coming right over your property, it's going to blow everything apart. So that's what insurance is for. That's his thinking, and I'm thinking he's not too far off. David Green, good to see you, sir. We've been exchanging some texts over the last few days. That's pretty awesome. Here's John in the house. John and Sue, good to see you, folks. Hunker down a rainy campground with the hurricane heading your way. Yeah, Knoxville. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I did spend time in Knoxville again. It was her in. Great to see you. Thank you for. Here's Rob. Did you guys get a place in Texas? Let us know. Good to see you, sir. Thanks for being here. Justin in the house. Currently in Crab Orchard, Tennessee. Perfect woo for today. Currently trying to figure out where to go as I'm in the path of Helene. I would go east, I think, if I was you. I heard a weather report saying that the storm is 300 miles wide. That's why I just didn't want to chance it. And all of a sudden it went from Tallahassee to Gainesville. Florida's had some hurricanes of recent memory. It's pretty amazing. There's Georgia Jack in the house. Good to see you. Yeah, last week's woo. Thank you, Jack. That was nice of you. We were coming at you live with Justin and John and Sue, and it was a lot of fun. We had one. Well, I had one before we got started just to loosen me up a little bit. I didn't realize that the camera on the bartender, who gave really good advice, was so badly pixelated. In fact, I owe him a phone call tomorrow so that we can get him scheduled to come on. But yes, thank you. It was most intelligent, informative, wittiest, and handsome guest I've ever seen. Let me tell you. Oh, and what was it? The Pappies? Oh my God. I've never had a nose of that fragrance. I don't think so distinct ever before. So thank you, Jack. We'll be doing a lot more of those as we go forward. Hey, Simi G in the house. Good to see you. Here's Sharon. Good to see you. Appreciate that. Stay safe. Yes, ma'am. Who am I missing here? Question here. And thanks for using the question format. I should make a little sign for that. So 3 stars, 3 question marks helps me find it more readily. Going from Charleston, South Carolina to Arlington, Virginia for the Overland Expo. Have 4 days to do it. Any good ideas of spots to hit on the back roads? Ooh, Charleston, South Carolina. I don't have one off the top of my head. I'm not sure how far away Winston-Salem, North Carolina is, or Raleigh. Those are great towns, lots of history, great downtowns. There's kind of an artsy-fartsy neighborhood in Winston-Salem. One of my favorite pictures I've ever taken was in Winston-Salem. Maybe we can help them out there, ladies and gentlemen. What I would do is turn off highways on your, well, like on Apple Maps. You can turn off highways so it routes you the longer way, slower way, probably the more interesting way. And just if you see a ground sign that's of a point of interest for you, you know, hikes or history or culture or historic districts, those ones that always get my attention. That would be some good ones. But let us know how, how your I toyed with the idea of going there and I decided not to because I literally just arrived today and turn around and drive back up to Virginia. Depending on where you're leaving from, I would recommend Bristol, Virginia. There's Bristol, Tennessee, Bristol, Virginia. They're on the west side of the state, and Virginia's up here. On this side of the street is Tennessee, and there's a lot of country music history there. That's where the Hank Williams had his last hamburger in the Cadillac as they were heading off. He died in that Cadillac that very next day. So there's a great museum there. So if you get a chance to do Bristol, that's pretty great. Appreciate you asking. Let's see, I don't want to miss anybody before we get into some of the what I saw today. So here's Mary, thank you. Yeah, hi Scott from PS Palm Springs. More hot weather. Yeah, I am so over the hot weather. Here's Dale, having great weather it's always great weather in San Diego and Hawaii, right? Let's see. Yeah, I know what you mean. I drove, it's really about 4, maybe 5 hours, but there was so much traffic in so many areas. One area took a half hour to get through, like 3 miles. It was just insane. So I know what you mean. My butt is so sore. In fact, let's have a cheers. This is my libation tonight. I sadly need this, and it kind of rhymes with my hat, if you didn't notice. There we go. Cheers, everybody. Libation life. That's always nice. And here's the bottle cap out of Coors Banquet. I'm going to read upside down. Ooh, I need my glasses. Sometimes has, I ain't going to come out at all. Bottle cap wisdom. This one says, only brewed with high country barley. Some of them are kind of clever. Now, if you're part of our Patreon group, we share these on occasion, and this one's pretty cool. I don't think you can read that either, but what it says is, what you're made of matters. Couldn't agree more. Okay, let's see what else. I got Travel Dreamer in the house. Good to see you. Here's Catmandu. Curious if you or any of your viewers have ever had to locate in the middle of the country due to tornado threats. I don't have any experience with tornadoes. I'm hoping somebody does have a thought about that. I've I don't know if it's accurate or not. I don't want to speak. So if you have any tornado experience, I've got some pretty powerful storm cell experiences I'll share, and some really inclement weather. But I don't have any tornado advice because I've not been through it myself. Here's Endless saying he's driven 9,400 miles in 54 days. You're moving, sir. Here's Richard in the house. Good to see you, sir. Appreciate that. Denim Root. Good to see you. And Deborah's saying, hi, all just got back from 3 weeks in my van. My longest excursion to date. Congratulations. Here's Cara LeBlanc. Hi, Cara. That might be a new name. Appreciate you joining us tonight. Here's Matt. Uh-oh. Great to see you, Matt. We love Matt. Here's Robert. Bob in Pennsylvania. Good to see you. Appreciate that. Are you tired of the political ads there in Pennsylvania? Oh, my gosh. Appreciate that. And here's Matt. I prefer my full title, entitled Annoying Customer. So great. Thank you, Matt. Van Can Do, is an all-wheel van in your future? Probably not. Probably not. Probably not. Why? I'm used to ProMaster. It works really well. And whether it's, yeah, probably not. Leave it at that. That is exceedingly lovely. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, let me show you this stuff in just a second. Once you've been to the brewery or the winery, doesn't it just taste better? Because you know a little bit of the sneak peek, right? Of what's going on. So I love Banquet. When we were in Puerto Rico through a cruise port stop, I actually found Coors in a Vietnamese restaurant that wasn't serving Vietnamese yet, but actually on the Coors label here, I'm not sure where it was, maybe right here someplace, actually said Puerto Rico. Coors is only made in one place on earth, kind of like Heineken. Heineken's only made in Holland. This is only made in Colorado, Golden, Colorado. Okay, let me show you this. I'm going to walk you through. I'm going to get everybody. Let's make sure. Oh, here's Observer. Howdy, Appalachia. Flash floods. Yeah, I can imagine. Kimmy T RVing. Hey, Scott, what's up? Good to have you here. Appreciate that. Neil and Britt in the house. Uh-oh. That's great. Howdy. Northern Nevada headed to Washington. That's right. You guys are headed. Ooh, you're going to have a blast up there. Pacific Northwest. Oh, this is very nice. Thank you. Appreciate that. Kimmy T RVing. Appreciate that. We keep trying. I'm experimenting a little bit all these days as we go forward. See what works, what doesn't, what I like, what more importantly my customers like. That'd be the viewer friends. Deborah, hit the mountain areas on the way to Virginia. Leaves are turning gold. Yeah, it's a magic time. Fall is my favorite time of year, no doubt about it. And there's no fall in Florida, FYI. Let's see. Give me a thumbs up. Appreciate that. Here's thank you. Justin says during tornado watch in Dallas, I scoped out a well-built hotel waiting for the parking lot. When the warning came, I went inside the lobby with Bernie and a half a dozen other campers. Yeah, so save the dog, save yourself. Camper be damned. Probably not bad advice at all. If I was in there, I would probably do something similar. Yeah, I'd pack my overnight bag post haste. Looking at my duffel bag back here. Good advice. Thank you. All right. So Kimmy's coming at us from New York. Awesome. Hit the like button. Yeah, appreciate that. And one more, I think, maybe. Frederick. Hey, Scott, we're back from our 6-week trip to Alaska. Holy cow. Stay safe, my friend. Thank you. Yeah, that's one trip I'm never said I was ever going, and I'm not going. I visited Alaska via cruise ship. That was okay. Let me show this. Thank you. I appreciate that. Congratulations. That's really awesome. Okay, what I want to do is kind of walk you through this. So I left Jennings, Florida. It's a KOA, one of the worst KOAs I've ever been at. And there's no Verizon service. There's no T-Mobile service, and their Wi-Fi is absolutely horrible. Just don't stay there. Just saying. I got on the road right around 9:30, And I'm going to play just a few seconds of this video. And none of these utility trucks are the same truck. And I started recording kind of late. I'm like, geez, I'm talking about extreme weather tonight. Why don't I show what I'm seeing? So this is southbound on whatever the interstate is coming out of Valdosta. I can't remember. But let me just play a few seconds here and kind of explain what I'm seeing. It was this parade of utility trucks. I couldn't believe it. And they were all looking at one guy was driving, one guy was, they've been up since 4 this morning. That's one brand there. Here's another one. Alltech was really big. And here's another one that was a different brand altogether. And what was cool is, there's a different one altogether again, is the passenger was always looking at the van. And what I started doing is give them a thumbs up, because if you kind of think about it, they're kind of the first responders, maybe the second responders technically, but I was hoping to run into some of them to kind of understand what was going on. My thought was, maybe some of you know, probably Justin or Neil, that they were staging themselves just far away from the impact zone, if you will, that once the storm passed a certain point, that they were in there to get power restored. And it was pretty amazing. Let me show you a little bit more of this. How do I do this? Remove. So, I mean, I started recording, I don't even know, an hour. So this is super interesting. So now we've been traveling quite a ways down the interstate, and I noticed there was a backup at this exit point. So look really close. I'll back it up maybe so you can see it. So what they've all done now at this point is they're exiting. So we're going directly south toward Tampa then the Florida Turnpike goes from like Orlando, well, not Orlando, but anyway, it splits off and goes that way from the not explain myself very well to the down the middle of the state toward the Atlantic coast. So let me play this for you, and just look at how many of these trucks are lined up. I'm trying to get over, not run over anything or anybody, trying to get this footage, and you can see it's just incredible. And I'm like, it was so amazing to see them happy and engaged. I saw a bunch of them parked at a Burger King, and I'm like, I was kind of craving a Whopper Junior. Anyway, so I get in there and I start ordering. I'm like looking around for all the utility trucks are parked there in the parking lot. Well, there's quite a few, and I go in and there's nobody in there. They were all at the Zaxby's at the parking lot next door. I'm like, I was so bummed. And by the time I got my stuff done, and anyway, I never got to talk to them about what they were up to. Again, I'm guessing staging. Maybe some of you know what's going on. I think this last little clip here. So once that exit, they all exited off of that. I didn't see really many more until quite a ways where the turnpike splits off of the interstate. And once I got, I don't know, probably 50 miles onto the turnpike, and again to the Atlantic coast. If you've ever seen the turnpike, it kind of goes through, it's a little north of Orlando, but and then kind of comes, it's quite a ways north of Orlando, and then it ends up in Miami is kind of the punchline there. And let me see if I can bring this up. I might have to back this up. See all the emergency vehicles? I think that's the last one. Again, I was kind of busy driving and thinking, and it didn't really, I missed the best one in the middle of a giant rain squall. There was probably, I don't know, 10, 15 vehicles, emergency vehicles. And I saw on the back of on the side of the truck, they're coming out of Miami-Dade County. And these were special operations for natural disasters, I'm guessing hurricanes. They weren't really police, but they were very definitely command control centers, big antennas on top. It was really, really cool. Maybe I'll back that up for you just so you can see it again. See if I can pause. I'd never seen anything like it. Let's see them hauling the gear there. And they were there's boats, see the boat? So they can get around. It was really fascinating. And the only thing I could really think of, and that was the first one was the best one. Then I'm like, oh my God, I gotta get my thing ready. And I'm on the other side. So the video was not super awesome. But the only thing I could really think of what it was like is in Chicago, when there's a really big snowstorm coming, everybody stages the snow equipment, the salt trucks, the snow plows, and closed roads if there's not very many hilly roads in Chicago, but everything's staged. So when the event starts, they're prepared. They're not like, and that's all I could really think of this being. And a tornado doesn't have that warning of, or like a snowstorm or an ice storm where you have a few hours or a few days to kind of get everything staged. And that's the only thing I could kind of think of what it was like. It was really interesting. In addition, there was tree cutting firms that were a big part of this. So there's the utility trucks and there's tree cutting companies with the buckets, again, to trim all the trees. There was, I'm pretty sure it was the National Guard. There was many, and I don't know what I was thinking, getting that filmed, but it was super interesting to see the National Guard. I'm pretty sure it was the Florida National Guard. Again, convoys of trucks, ambulances with a big red cross on the sign. I even saw one semi that had two ambulances on the bed that he's being pulled. So rather than driving it up, they're going to just move them up there again to stage them. And I started looking at some of the other vehicles going by. Clearly, they were moving assets into the storm area to get ready for what was going on and about to happen. And I think I read it strengthened into a category 4 now. So I'm really glad I made the decision. I made some really good decisions this last couple of days, and that was one of them. Midnight, well, really about 3:30 this morning. It's like, this is really pretty scary. And let me see if I can show you this. And then I got some tips. Maybe you have some tips too. Come on. Oh, my finger's over it. Hello. Where we go? Let me see if I show this really fast. I texted these to Kyle this morning, and I'm like, this is going to be pretty serious. So this was kind of the cone thing. This is from the Accurate Weather app. It's orange. I think Justin turned me on to that. So this is risk to life and property. Can you see Gainesville there? It's in the not super dark orange, but it's in the orange, which is like moderate. Wait for it. This is the rainfall amounts. So it was going to get buried in rain, right? Especially if it slows down. That's not fun. I think I got one more. And this was sustained winds. So that was like, 50 to 70 miles an hour. Now we've been in some pretty big storm cells over the years, but they're usually gone in, 15, 20 minutes, with a really powerful front wind force. But sustained winds of, 75 to 100 miles an hour this thing's supposed to make landfall. It was supposed to hit kind of Gainesville area at 5 in the morning tomorrow. And I'm like, I'm not going there. So I apologize to Sunshine State, but I'm sure they've been there before. And then plot a course to home. It's a long way. Florida's a big state. So that's kind of what the deal was there. And what we did, we're going to reschedule the overnight in the Road Trek Chase. It's a 2023. It's on a Road ProMaster chassis. It's got a cassette toilet. I got permission to use it. So I called the RV park I was going to stay at tonight and do the video and everything. And so they, not surprisingly, were nice enough to put a credit on my file, and then we'll just reschedule with Sunshine either in September or October. So that's what we got going. Here's my thing over here. So let's see if there's any questions or comments. And I'm going to tell you about some really distinct weather, extreme weather that I got into over the years. I'll never forget, and I always learn something from it. I'm going to share that with you. So let me just cheers, everybody. I'm so parched. Ooh, glad I looked. I would have went right on the floor. Oh, Aaron, good point. So as a former AT&T wireless employee, whenever we had a bad storm, we would have coordinated with the local sheriff for support. Prepare cows. Move the cows out of the way. We need steak and milk. Half and half. Generators, techs would be on standby. I'm glad you said that. Thank you, Aaron. I noticed it too late. The traffic was so thick today. I couldn't believe it. It was so thick. And what I saw was a T-Mobile. It was a semi flatbed, and then buckled down was all these gas generators, the big honking ones on wheels. And on the side it said T-Mobile emergency disaster something. And so the staging, I was super impressed. Never really having been through one of these. Thank you, Aaron, for bringing that up. Glad to know. Yeah, I'm advanced planning for response outages. And I'm guessing like Chicago and kind of the upper Midwest, really anywhere where they have some pretty extreme weather, snowstorms, ice storms, there's preparedness. And the public officials talk about what to do next, and then they start staging. And it's good to see them doing it. I was really very impressed. No, DeSantis is not there. Like he did, thank you for asking. One of my most favorite governors. And they just they get as close as they can to the high risk power outages. Yeah, I got to believe that. And as you see construction get done around here, they're actively replacing a lot of the wood poles, power poles, with the concrete ones. They hold it better. No surprise there. And it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's kind of the thing, right? They probably have backup generators, but yeah, thank you, Mary. Hospitals, fire stations, towns. I think I heard on the weather report that schools were closed and were being converted into temporary shelter for people. So it takes a team to really make this stuff happen, and it's just impressive to see this staging. And I was never having been through it. I was pretty impressed. And hey, Frisco T, what's up? Good to see you, ma'am. So let me look at this. So here's Sherry, 2 days after pickup at RV Hall of Fame. 2 a.m. severe storm is rocking the van. I stayed put, and next day 1,000-watt power. Trees down, left for Wisconsin early. You had your new van that's completely self-contained, right? In fact, I'm in our driveway, not even plugged in yet. Running off Volta tonight. That's kind of cool, right? Oh yeah, Volta. Where are you? There. Talk about an escape capsule. Pretty cool. That might be a nice segue to. Yeah, Mary's saying here, this is what's really kind of scary also. Wind is one thing, right? But this storm surge. So if it's coming in wind and there's 20 feet of water coming at you, I've seen the after effects of this and some of the, like, have you ever been to Biloxi, Mississippi? What's the other cute town down there I love to stay at? It's Grand something, I thought. But Biloxi, I mean, there's just now, like years after that went through and just wave of water bulldozed everything, just now really getting some new construction on it. And guess what? Those things are like 20 feet in the air on stilts. It's the weirdest thing you've ever seen, but that's why, right? So let me kind of use a jump off point from Sherry's. So here's are some safety tips from my experience. So I've been in really severe short-lived storm cell. It was in near Mobile, actually. And I was in a really pretty severe hail outside of Prescott in the mountains. That was terrifying. Wind and some really, really heavy rain. So here's what I've kind of done, and it's worked. I'm just telling you what I've done, and it worked. I'm not saying do it. You kind of do your own research, please. But so on the huge storm cell, what I was trying to do is outrun it. Bad idea, because you can see it on the map, right? And so what I did, knowing that it was going to overrun me, I found a Walmart parking lot with no trees around, and was just going to buckle down. It was only, it was going like 50 miles an hour, so it was going to be over and done with in 10 or 15 minutes. A lot of rain, huge amounts of wind, and then it just blows over you. So I knew that was going to be the case here. The lesson I learned, some of you may have heard me talk about this is I parked away from the building in the middle of nowhere on the massive Walmart parking lot. No trees around, no cars around. I didn't think about shopping carts. And when that wind came in, those orphaned shopping carts start skating around like pinballs. And I kid you not, it was rocking and raining. Until you've had a good storm in your van, well, outside your van, but you're inside. I don't think you've really had full van life experiences like having a shower in your van, right? And I'm watching this cart, and it's probably, I don't know, a couple 100 feet, 200 feet, and it picked up speed, and it was coming right at me. And I'm like, no, because if that thing hit me, it would put the biggest dent right in the side of my van, probably in a crease of the van, which would have been really not cool to have. And just at the last minute, it just kind of turned a little bit. VanLife miracle, hit the car that was like like 4 spots over and banged into the car. I'm not sure it was a he or her. They were not in it. And I'm like, oh, thank God. It did put a dent in the driver door. I'm like, oh my God. Lesson was, if I'm going to do that again, pull over and let the storm go over me. Again, not be around trees. I don't want any limbs falling. Be away from other cars. But if there's orphaned carts and it's a safe thing for me to get out and put all the carts in the cart corral, I could save my van. I could save somebody else's car from getting damaged. So that was something I did, and I've done that many times since, actually. It's worked out like a charm. When I was leaving Prescott, I could see the storm cell was kind of over a mountain, and it wasn't really moving. And then there was a big elevation. And it was rain at first, not super heavy rain, but as I climbed the elevation, it turned to sleet, then kind of hail. But it was like the ice pellets you put in a Coca-Cola. Not cubes, but the ice pellets, you know what I'm talking about? And it was coming down, and it was really, maybe this is when I could have used an all-wheel drive. It was the pavement was hot because it was Arizona, well, hotter than the hail. And what it was doing is creating a river, and this slush was just coming down, and I was, and rocks were coming off the sides. And I'm like, the first turnout, I am turning out and parking and having lunch. And I was at a curve, and it was a safe spot to park. And it was because my wheels were spinning and people were coming around, not being super aware of the elements, which was crazy. And I sat there for probably about 15-20 minutes. And the hail was piling up on the windshield, and I noticed a rock had fallen in the middle of the road, just off the center line a little bit. And I'm like, somebody is going to swerve to miss that rock and either hit the rock wall or swerve over where I am. So I got my best effort, and I went and got, it was a pretty good, like a bowling ball. It was a pretty good sized rock. And I felt like a hero, right? Oh, especially with my shirt tonight, folks. Yay. And I felt like a hero for probably preventing maybe an accident. So again, if it's heavy rain, if it's snow, if it's hail, what I did is I pulled over and just waited it out, knowing it's not going to last hours. It's just going to last, 15-20 minutes, which it did. I had a sandwich, and after I moved the rock, I felt much better. If it's really a downpour, what I've discovered, now you look at the maps and you see it's going to be hanging around for a while. If I'm in a place where there's an interstate with an overpass, I park under the overpass with the motorcycles, because I just don't, I'm okay driving in pretty heavy rain. I just don't know what anybody else is going to do. And Floridians, God love you, I don't get it. They slow down a little bit, they turn their flashers on, and they just keep going. I'm not sure what the flasher means. Maybe just to identify themselves, because it gets really dark and the visibility is terrible. People don't even turn their lights on. I just like, good Lord. And so I just kind of go into and again, wait it out. If there's an off ramp, maybe I'll do that. If I can see there's some parking lots or something like that, and just wait it out. I'm in my home, so why not be safe on the side of the road and not and then I can relax, right? Snow. I've only been in the snow a few times, and I was actually outrunning a storm there. Early enough warning. I was coming out of Helper, Utah, and it was coming all the way down to Albuquerque, but it was getting a little bit warmer, a little bit less intense as it got south. So I got an RV site for the night, and I woke up and the rig was covered in ice. It was so bizarre. Um, I should show those pictures sometime, but icicles hanging off your RV. I'm like, ah, right. But it was going to warm up and then be fine. So I was going to find. So those are kind of some of the tips I had. If you have any tips, Justin had a good one there. Park the rig, get yourself and spouse and pets into the safety place. So. So just reading some comments here. So Mary saying the winds are going to go to 130. Yeah, I'm really nice here. We're so far south. It's maybe even going to think that we're calling it a tropical storm warning. The signs of severity kept changing to less and less severe as I got closer. And down here, although I did drive through some pretty big storm cells today. Oh, a cell on wheels. That's got nothing to do with save the steak, save the half and half. Thank you. Appreciate that. Bram, what's that? Bram, thanks for all your hard work you do for the community. Best advice we have is 30 plus years residents of Florida is planned to have a huge hurricane party at Seattle. That's a good idea. Right? That's a beauty. We've talked about putting a generator here at this house, where some of you have camped at, and so we could have the lights on. And for some reason, this grid block area, the power goes out routinely. It's pretty amazing. There you go, Gumbo. Good to see you. But yes, appreciate that. Thank you. I must say it's kind of nice to be back at home. I left like the 5th of August, and it's the 25th of September. So I'm glad to be home. Good to see Kyle. We might go have a beer tonight and catch up. I don't know. Vienna, Ohio. Very cool. Thanks for being here. Travel Drew. Yeah. What's my shirt say? So this was early roundup. It might have been my first one at my home dealer, Winnebago Motorhomes, Rockford, Illinois. And they actually had the Winnebago rep come out and join us. Roger and Jane might remember that. And he gave us some swag, and this was one of the pieces. It says Winnebago on the back. What? So it's a Travado shirt, so it's one of my favorites, of course. So here's endless black safe and -10 on the night of our pickups. All the way home. Happy to have 4x4. Yes, sir. I bet. And the key is, the biggest tip is if you see it coming, get the hell out. Which is I was going to kind of test it in the road trek in Gainesville, but I looked at 3 o'clock this morning. I'm like, there's just no way. Let's see what else I want to cover with you folks. So let me look here. We're at the top of there. So I got one more video I'll do at the end for you. If you're on our Patreon, you will probably had seen this. We just love to build that community a bit more. So I traveled from basically Valdosta, Georgia, the Georgia-Florida state line, all the way to West Palm Beach today. That's a big drive. Florida's a crazy state. Crazy this way, crazy this way. Did you travel to went south actually, because it's actually coming up and going through into like Tennessee. Tennessee, one of my top 5 states. I love Tennessee and Kentucky and Colorado and Texas and Arizona and this is a good question here, Travel Dreamer. So I have been to some KOAs, particularly in Oklahoma, where they do have storm shelters on site. It looks kind of weird. It looks like a bunker for war. I've never seen inside of one of those. Ginger Walkabout, some of you have visited with me there for the eclipse. She has a underground bunker for tornadoes. It's pretty cool, and they only last for not very long duration for the tornado. So there's minimum amount of supplies. You get in, let it pass over, then you come out. Hopefully you have your house still there, right? Um, uh, Yeah, this is kind of what I thought. Thank you, Marcia. She's a long-term flirt. Safety check for drivers may not realize when your auto lights are used, your tail lights are not really on. And I've only seen them on, and even in the really heavy downpour. Thank you, Marcia. The tail lights, because you're not stepping on the brake, probably they're really dim. So I think the flashers are what that's for. Is just indicate position, location of the vehicle in front of you. I've seen the truck driver. I've seen quite a few do it. What I find a little amusing is they just turn the flashes on and kind of keep going a little faster than they really should. All right, we're done with this. So there's Kathmandu. Many people don't realize that if they have their flashes on, it will override the turn signals. The flash are meant to use when stationary. Yeah, I think it's a good point there. I've never seen anybody pull off the side of the road with flashers on. They just keep moving. But I think it's for the visibility from the rear, so people can more readily see the distance until they hit the brake light. Then it's kind of obvious. But yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, I'm glad I have the fog lights. I've got the halogens that I added. I don't drive at night very often, but in those kind of scenarios, I turn those things on, and it really helps me be seen from the front at least. All right, let me talk about the Wingamm thing here quick. Again, this is a huge thing, and we can get all your support. They being Wingamm USA sent the email to their 13,000 person email list, and I did a 3-hour walkthrough with this. She's so great. She's the CEO of Wingamm. It's a family business. And she was so dialed in on the U.S. I want to say OASI 540.1. I've been to RV shows, and the product planners are walking me through one of their things, and they don't know half the stuff that's going on in there. And I'm like, this is the CEO of Wingamm Group, and she knows more about this than I'm like, holy cow! It's going to be a great show. It's probably going to go on for a while. Meaning it's not a 1-hour engagement. It's probably go a couple hours, but you will not be disappointed. So please, Saturday, 28th of September, 11 a.m. Eastern is when we go live. Lorena Turi, CEO of Wingamm Group, and Tony Diamond, he's the managing partner of Wingamm USA. First of all, you're going to be blown away by the OEC. You are going to be like, they're real, by the way. You're going to see 2 of them, and you're going to see some special stuff. I'm not going to tell you because it's some special stuff. And Tony has some really huge announcements. We got to save the sizzle for Saturday, but we walked through it all yesterday, and I'm telling you, I'm a fan. Again, I always have been, but I am like, this stuff is real. This stuff is, it's so damn cute, right? It's a little crass, Scott, but I just want to kind of dry hump it, right? But wait till you see this. It is stunning. And the pricing, the availability, how do you buy one of these? Where can you see one? Where can you meet the CEO, Lorena? All of that is going to be exposed on Saturday. So please mark it on your calendars. And in fact, if you go to my website, you can add that event to your calendar. And the stream is set, so you can actually add the stream link to your calendar. It's going to be a huge thing. I am so excited. It's what these folks are up to. It's taking way longer than even many expected, and great things take time. But they are going to upend this. That's Scott. Okay, so if you want to be a guest, you may have seen me talk about this before. If you want to be our guest on What's Up Wednesday, we want to hear your stories, your travel stories. Maybe give us a tour of your van, your camper, your bike tent setup, whatever, your Jeep tent setup, whatever it is. We're everybody's travelers or want to be travelers. You're welcome here at Go Small, Live Large. Show us your modifications. Share your favorite travel product. That's my email address. Shoot me that. I'm pretty caught up. I'm not for the last few days. And if you are bashful, but you still have something you really want to share with the folks, this is how you do it. Just send in a video, a travel tip, story, place, product modification, RV life, cruise life, bike life, motorcycle life, backpack life, car camping life, all fair game. Maybe you got some questions you want answered and you don't want to just leave a comment on YouTube. I'm way behind on those. Got a few questions? Send me a video with questions and we'll answer them right here on the show for you. So that's what we got going up. Next week, I'm going to talk about travel apps. And then the week after that, we're going to talk about my 6-year anniversary because I picked it up the second week, I think, in October 2018. So Lily is doing great. And it's just so much fun to have you all here. This has been great. Just we'll close out here and then I'll show this last video. We'll sign off with that. But hang tight. Ever been to Mellow Mushroom Pizza? When's the last time you saw Alice in Wonderland? Let's see. Here's William saying, great advice. It is against the law to drive with flashers on if people can't see you are braking. Good to know. Yeah, Wingamm, it's gonna I think you'll be impressed. I think you're impressed. I was blown away. They've really done it right. Kind of like Apple. Apple is rarely first to market, but they just look at trends. They look at, it's an inclusive package, right? And these guys have done it right. It's super impressive. Oh my God. Yeah, Laura, it is kind of a mystery. That's why I think they're going to change the game here, Wingamm. I'll be honest. It'll be fun to see. And wait till you see the special stuff we got for you on Saturday. It's going to blow your mind. She's going to give us a tour. Oh my God, it's so exciting. Peggy, God love you. Appreciate that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, yes, James wants to know, Scott, we'll be talking about Wingamm warranty and service centers. Yes, sir. We covered that in great. Will be covered in great deal. You will be impressed. So I'm going to run this video, and thank you for that. We'll see you folks next Wednesday. We're doing travel apps. I got some education from some folks just this last week. A lot more in the planning stages. We're going to do live pumpkin carving right before Halloween. So if you go to my website, Go Small, Live Large, you get all the stuff there, right? All right. So let me play this video, and we'll see you all next week. Let me know what you think. Join our Patreon supporters. Those of you in Patreon saw this earlier. I think this will work. Let's go. Cool. I love artwork. If you haven't seen Alice in Wonderland in a while, the one that Disney put out with Johnny Depp starring, it's really cool. I've watched it 3 times. I still can't figure it out. But the costumes, it's just so well done. It's just unbelievable. Maybe we'll have an Alice in Wonderland Vanbury. Wouldn't that be fun? We'll have to dress up like a character. And what's up with Alice in Wonderland? All right, folks. Thank you very much. Really appreciate you being here. Hopefully you learned something tonight, had a chuckle or two, and I'm glad to be here. not where he was, because that's going to be messy. Anybody that's in that hurricane zone, we'll be thinking about you. We'll be praying for you, and stay safe. We'll see y'all next week. New video this Sunday. Watch for that. 6:50 p.m. Eastern. All right, everybody. Thank you very much. Peace be with you. See you soon. Thank you.